thing's cruising.
Nobody pray for me. It been a day for me. Yeah, yeah.
Alright boys, so a few things coming with the E36 today. I'm actually really stoked on what progress we'll get done today and what has already been done in the last few days. So I'm stoked to show you guys. But first things first, I just picked up a nutsert rivet tool because I have an X brace for the bottom of my E36. If you don't know what that is, basically there's a normal brace that's one bar that goes to each side of like the floor pan area right underneath the transmission. That basically just braces the front end of the car, kind of prevents that twisting point. Then there's the X brace one, which is like the better one. I believe it came on M3s. I'm not too sure. It was already on my other E36 when I grabbed it. But and that goes from the frame of the car by the floor pans around the transmission, and then under the oil pan, and then into the subframe. I'll show you guys here in a second to better explain myself. My subframe already has the holes, but there's nothing for a bolt to thread into. So I had to go pick up this nutsert rivet tool. Basically you screw this onto the rivet tool and it goes into the subframe hole, and then once put in the hole you squeeze this and it kind of like pinches itself around the subframe, so therefore now you can thread the bolts into this. So I also got something else to show you guys, because today earlier this morning I also got my windshield installed in this car. So now hopefully in the next week or two I'm going to be registering this thing and actually getting miles driven on it and breaking her in finally. Got a windshield there today. Shout out Southwest Auto Glass. Actually, don't shout them out because I paid full price. All right, so let me see if I can show you guys a little bit better underneath the car, so you guys can get a better idea what I'm working with here. Here's the X brace. It's hanging down right now because I only have the one bolt in. So here's the subframe. Here's a riv nut already put in, and here's the hole I've been putting them in. So basically, you thread the riv nut on the end of here, put her in the hole, squeeze her, and then it pinches a flange onto the other side, and then after that I can swing this brace back up and thread it into here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop a riv nut in every one of these. See, now it bolts to the subframe. So now I just need to put two more. Riv nuts inside this side of the subframe, and then she'll be all bolted up all the way around. Boys, as you can tell, the X brace is now up, rivets into the subframe. That worked so good. I got them so tightened too. I was scared that once I started tightening they might spin, but they were so pressed in that I got a good crank on them. So that's all tightened up. I'm gonna go paint my sway bar and then put my sway bar back in. Alright, so the whole sway bar was a fail because this part right here doesn't dip down far enough. I realized that this sway bar is from my 4-cylinder motor, and I guess there must be a difference where this one comes down farther for the M52 motor. Never mind on the sway bar. Alright boys, I'm stoked on a few things right now. I'm working on the E36. Been doing a few things off the camera because there haven't been much to film. I'm doing a lot of wiring right now. Like I've said before, wiring is my least favorite thing. I'm pretty stoked at what I just did because basically when I took this car apart and I went to cage, I took the whole harness out and I cut a lot of things out of the harness, right? So there was a lot that wasn't wired up. So I was like, I'm gonna go back later and rewire my tail lights. Well, one of the things I did was, this is a new one. This is a new one now, but this is basically your brake pedal light switch, which makes your brake lights come on, right? And that connects to in there. I threw this away and cut it out before, so I ordered a new one of these. I found a clip that clips into it, and I have these wires hooked up like that. So basically, I had to do it outside of the harness now, since I kind of cut everything else out of the harness. So I'm running this independently now. As well as my normal running lights, headlights, everything. So I already did the front of the car. Today I was planning on finishing the rear. So this right here was a wire I just soldered, and that's for my running lights. So I just made it now where my running tail lights, my outer 2 tail lights on each side. So the outer ones over there, they come on. My battery's dead right now, but they come on by the headlight now. So when I turn my low beams, my running lights come on. There's a main ground that runs to the plug, this brown top wire. And I just went and put 12 volts to the other ones to see what lit up. Finally I found that the blue and red, it was like the bottom left one, was the inner taillight on both these, the brighter taillight for when you're pressing the brake. Then I found that they're jumped together by the blue and red line, and then I went through this one, which is the passenger side, and found the actual power in, followed that all the way back through the harness, followed it all the way up to here. So this is the main power into the jumper, which makes both taillights turn on. I plug that into the brake switch here. Oh god. Into the brake switch, and then I give this brake switch 12 volts. So when it's plugged into the actual pedal, it'll be compressed in by the pressure of the pedal up there constantly. So there's none of that, but then when you push the brake in, it releases this. So that opens up. Now we got brake lights. One has a crappy bulb right now. I used it from the reverse light, so that's why one's dimmer, but we're in there, boys. It's now got the windshield, brake lights, headlights, doors on. It's time to register this car and get it street legal. So I got the aero kit for the rear mocked up right now. I also got my new rear bumper ring, so that's why that one's a different color right now, but it's gonna look so good. Alright boys, hopefully today we're getting an exhaust on this car. I just went to the DMV and I actually got the car registered, so now the car is legal. Hopefully gonna get the exhaust on it today. I called the exhaust shop and the guy was kind of claiming he was busy and he wasn't gonna guarantee he was able to get to it today. So that's kind of upsetting, but I'm gonna put it on the trailer right now, rush over there. Hopefully you can get it on today. I got this muffler off of Daniel's E30. It's a Borla. I'm gonna put this on just because I don't want it ignorantly loud, like it's gonna be anyways, but I don't want it completely straight pipe, so. Unloading the car now. We just made it to the shop. We're gonna see what we get, baby. Throw an exhaust together. Their exhaust is almost done now, so I'm gonna go check on it here in a second. Hopefully can just drive it home from here. The exhaust is on there now. We got a 4-inch exit. I have a 4-inch exit. Look at that, you can fit the whole fist in there. I have a Borla muffler, and then the rest is straight pipe 3-inch back up to my headers, where it's a Y pipe because my headers are 2 individual headers. I have the rear lip on. I mounted everything on the rear. It looks good. Bumper, I still have to trim up, so I didn't put the bumper or nothing back on. But I just realigned the car because the car was driving pretty crazy on the way home. I'm actually pretty happy with how it sounds. It sounds a little bit more raspy than I want, but that's okay. I can always just straight pipe it if I ever wanted to, take off the muffler. But for now, it'll be fine. It's not too loud. I'll show you guys, but
it's also in the garage right now, so it might echo a lot.
I'm kind of upset I didn't get to film more. I've been slacking pretty hard with filming lately, as you can tell by the videos, but leave a comment. Harass me for not filming enough because I need to start filming. Alright, so I'm going to take this thing for a little bit more of a test drive, trying to see. It sounds like my clutch is like clacking a little bit. I'm sure there's going to be a million things that are going to be loose and everything on this car as I break it in, but right now it sounds like something's like rattling in the trans, so I'm going to put some more miles on it, see how she acts a little bit. So this thing's cruising. good right now. I'm just going through all the gears, just trying to get a few more miles on it. A lot of noises. I hear a lot of things I'm gonna have to fix. There's also a vacuum leak I hear from up front. So a few things. I literally can't even explain how blown away I am right now looking at this and how far this car has actually come and how much work I've put into this thing. This is insane. No exhaust, dude. I love it. Bumper's rubbing a little bit. I got literally, like, what I got to go through now is go through and make sure everything like fits and put everything back together. God damn. So several days have gone into this video. Numerous items have been worked on the E36, but now the car is registered. Now the car is drivable. I've been driving it now for a couple days. Kind of get it broken, going through, fixing everything that needs to be fixed, stuff like that. Many things to come for this car still, and hopefully a lot more drifting. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.